Good morning, students. Today I am going to teach you poem An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. This poem is written by Stephen Spender. So in this poem, the poet voices his concern for children who live all their life in slums and have no opportunity to enjoy the real blessings of life. So here in this poem, the poet has described about those children, those who are not able to enjoy luxurious life. They spend their life in slums, and didn't get opportunity to enjoy the real blessings of life. So here the poet sees some children sitting in a classroom in a slum. So here in the beginning of the poem, in the opening lines of the poem, the poet see some children, and those children, they were sitting in a school classroom in a slum. So the faces of the poor children have no signs of any warm blood running in them. So when the poet looked at the faces of these children, he saw no signs of any warm blood running in them. There was no sign of happiness on their faces. Their faces were filled, there was sadness on their faces. They are all pale and look lifeless. The untidy hair hanging around their pale faces looks like rootless weeds. So their faces were pale, and they were looking lifeless, and their hair were untidy, not clean, hanging around their pale faces. So looks like rootless weeds. Their untidy hairs, they are compared with rootless weeds. Weeds, unwanted plants. Rootless weeds means the plants. Weeds are those plants which are unwanted, and when they are uprooted from their roots. There is a tall girl with her head weighed down. So the poet here describes about a tall girl with her head weighed downwards. So there is a boy who looks as thin as paper and has small terrified eyes like that of rat. Now the poet describes about a boy who looks as thin as paper, who is very thin, and he has small terrified eyes, and his eyes looked terrified like that of a rat, as the rat, when he tries to hide itself, as the small boy's eyes are compared with the eyes of rat. Terrified eyes of a small boy are compared with those of rat. So a boy with twisted bones is reading out his lesson from his desk. So here the poet is describing about the classroom in which children are sitting, and how these children are sitting in these classrooms, how they are looking, and about their behavior, and about their appearance. They are thin, their faces are pale, they are untidy, their condition is worst. So another boy he is describing is that he has twisted bones, a boy with twisted bones, and that boy is reading his lesson from his desk. He has swollen joints as his father has. So that boy has swollen joints like that of his father. At the back of the dim classroom there is a sweet little child. He seems to be lost in his dreams of what goes the squirrels play in their tree home. So here the poet describes about a boy, a very sweet boy, who is sitting he's sitting at the back of that dim classroom, and that sweet child is lost in dreams of squirrels playing in their tree home. So the walls of this classroom smell of sour cream. So here the poet described about that classroom. In the beginning of the poem, he has described about different children, those who were sitting in that classroom, which was in that classroom he has described, and then he is describing about the condition of classroom, how that classroom is. They bear the names of those who have given donations to build this classroom. So in that classroom, the poet describes about those persons' name, those who have given donation to build this classroom. Their names are written on the wall. Those who have given donation to build this classroom. They have also the pictures of cathedral dome, of Shakespeare bust, of cloudless dawn, and of flowery valley of Tyrol. So here, these are the pictures which are hanging on the walls of these classroom. A big open map is also hanging on the wall. So a big map is also hanging on the wall. It shows all the seas and lands that the world has. So that map, all seas and lands are shown in that world map, in that map. But the world that these poor children see is not this world of the map. Actually, the world of these children is different from that world which is shown in the map. It is the world they see from the window of their classroom. So this is the world in which they see from the windows of their classroom. It is the world that shows them only a foggy street under a dull sky. So actually the poet is pointing out the pitiable condition of these children, those who are living in slum areas. They are not those who are slum dwellers. So it is a world far wide, far from the world of rivers and caves. So in the world in which they are living, that is a far different world that is not at all concerned with rivers and caves. It is far different from the stars of words promised for them by the politicians. So they are, as politicians, they keep on promising that they will do this thing, they will do that thing for the slum dwellers, for this slum area children. But promises, they never fulfill these promises. They just keep on promises, and just it's a world different from the stars of words. Means that is the world in which these slum children are living. That is far different from the practical. That is a different world in which they are not enjoying the facilities, in which they are not enjoying the basic necessities of life. The poet says that picture and maps hung on the walls of the classroom have no meaning for these poor children. So here the poet describes that the pictures and the maps which are hung on their walls of the classroom, these pictures have no meaning for them. They can only arouse in them temptations that will lead them to steal. So these things only, just the pictures which are hanging on the walls, just they tempt them to steal instead of fulfilling their necessities. These children spend all their lives in homes that are no better than cramped holes. So the condition of their homes, as we know, they are no better than cramped holes. Means even holes are better than their homes. Means their homes are in such a worst condition. They are so weak and think that their bones can be clearly seen under their skin. So these children, they are so weak bodily. They are so weak, and their bones are clearly seen under their skin. For these children, maps of the world have no meaning. In place these maps, there should be pictures of slum as big as doom. So the poet here says that in place of these maps, there should be pictures of slum areas should be hanged on these walls. And these kids, they are so frustrated. The condition of these children is so pitiable. The poet sympathizes with these children, those who are living in this slum areas. So the poet calls upon the school governor, inspector, and also the visitor to such schools to take these children out of the slum. So in the end of the poem, the poet calls governors, inspectors, and the visitors, those who visit this school. So he requests all these people to take these children out of the slums. They should take them out of these places that are no better than catacombs. They should take these poor children to places where they can play in the green fields. So in the end of this poem, he says that something should be done for these poor children. They should be taken out from this type of environment, and they should so that they can enjoy green fields and golden sand. They should be kept in places where they can not only read their books but also play among the trees. So suitable and proper and healthy and hygienic environment should be provided to them. All facilities should be provided to these slum dwellers, all to children, those who are studying in this type of classroom. So they should be given healthy and hygienic environment so that they can study properly. They can also read books, but also play among the trees so that they can play properly, so that they can study properly. Proper environment should be given to them. The poet says that history belongs only to those nations where children can live freely and enjoy all the blessings under the sun. So here the poem concludes. The poet says that only that country dwells where all kids dwell in a free form, and that the development of a country is possible only, and we can say that country is developed only when the children of that country are enjoying all the blessings given by God. They are enjoying all the facilities. They are brought up in a proper environment, healthy and hygienic environment with proper facilities. Only those children country can be called developed, where children are enjoying all these things. So here students, मैं यही कहना चाहूँगी स्टूडेंट्स कि इस पोएम के अंदर पोइट ने एक क्लासरूम की पिक्चर प्रेजेंट की है, जिसमें कि बहुत पुअर चिल्ड्रन जो है इस क्लासरूम के अंदर बैठे हुए हैं. डिफरेंट किड्स की बात की गई है. एक बच्चा है जो अलग अलग बच्चे बैठे हैं, वो बहुत गरीब घर के बच्चे हैं, जिनको बेसिक नेसेसिटीज़ भी नहीं मिल रही हैं लाइफ की. उनके चेहरे इतने पीले हो चुके हैं, ऐसे लगता है जैसे वो बेजान है. उनके अनटाइडी अनक्लीन हेयर्स जो कि रूटलेस वीड्स की तरह लगते हैं. उनकी एक बच्चे की आंखें पोइट ने बताया वो बिगनिंग में कि उसकी आंखें जो है बहुत डरी हुई है, जैसे कि एक रैट की आंखें हैं. और एक बच्चा जो है जिसकी ट्विस्टेड बोन्स हैं, और वो बच्चा जो है अपने डेस्क पे बैठ के पढ़ रहा है. उसकी ट्विस्टेड बोन्स उसकी और वैसे ही हैं जैसे उसके फादर के स्वॉलन जॉइंट्स. यहाँ पे उसने उस क्लासरूम की पिक्चर प्रेजेंट की है जहाँ बहुत वो बच्चे बैठे हैं जो बहुत पुअर फैमिलीज से हैं, जिनको बेसिक नेसेसिटीज़ नहीं मिल रही हैं, प्रॉपर क्लासरूम का एनवायरनमेंट नहीं मिल रहा है, जो इतने पुअर फैमिलीज से हैं. और फिर उसके बाद पोइट ने उन क्लासरूम्स की कंडीशंस को भी बताया है कि उस क्लासरूम में वॉल्स पे सिर्फ उन पर्सनस के नाम जो है, या तो वर्ल्ड मैप और काफ़ी पिक्चर्स जो हैंग की गई हैं, और जो सिर्फ बच्चों को टेम्प्ट कर सकती हैं कि वो चोरी करके इनका कुछ कर लें. बल्कि क्योंकि वो पिक्चर्स बच्चों के लिए मीनिंगलेस है, जबकि वो एक हेल्दी और हाइजीनिक एनवायरनमेंट एंजॉय नहीं कर रहे, प्रॉपर फैसिलिटीज़ को एंजॉय नहीं कर रहे, प्रॉपर खा नहीं पा रहे, प्रॉपर जो बेचारों को मतलब इवन दे आर नॉट एबल टू गेट 2 स्क्वायर मील्स. सो उनकी ऐसी कंडीशन है कि जैसे गंदे एनवायरनमेंट में, जैसे अनहेल्दी एनवायरनमेंट में उनका क्लासरूम है, वो वहाँ बैठ रहे हैं. उनके चेहरों से पता चलता है कि किस तरीके के एनवायरनमेंट में वो रह रहे हैं. इतने थिन बच्चे हैं, फेसेस पेल हैं, अनटाइडी अनक्लीन, और उनकी वर्स्ट कंडीशन है. तो उसके बाद जो क्लासरूम में जो पिक्चर्स हैंग की हुई हैं, चाहे वो रिवर्स की हो, केप्स की हो, कुछ भी पिक्चर्स हैं, वो सारी, चाहे वो शेक्सपियर की पिक्चर्स हो या और पिक्चर्स हो, फ्लावर्स, कुछ भी हो, दैट ऑल पिक्चर्स आर मीनिंगलेस फॉर देम अनटिल एंड अनलेस दे आर गिवन प्रॉपर हेल्दी एनवायरनमेंट. सो उसके बाद पोएट ने एंड में यही कंक्लूड करते हुए कहा है कि अपील की है गवर्नर्स और इंस्पेक्टर्स से और विजिटर्स से जो स्कूल में विजिट करने आते हैं, ताकि उन क्लासरूम्स की कंडीशन को देखा जाए और उन गरीब बच्चों की जो है कंडीशन को सुधारा जाए. उन्हें ऐसा एनवायरनमेंट दिया जाए ताकि वो खुल के पेड़ों की छाँव भी को भी, दे शुड एंजॉय द शेड्स ऑफ ट्री, ग्रीन फील्ड्स, They should enjoy their life. They should get suitable, proper, healthy environment. They should get proper 2 square meals, so that they should have all basic necessities. They should be given all basic necessities of life. और एक देश भी तभी माना जाता है कि वो एक डेवलप्ड कंट्री है जबकि उसके बच्चे हेल्दी एनवायरनमेंट, जब एक देश के बच्चे हेल्दी एनवायरनमेंट में ब्रॉटअप होते हैं, पलते हैं, बढ़ते हैं, तभी एक देश जो है उस देश को हम कह सकते हैं कि ये देश आज़ाद है, ये देश डेवलप्ड कंट्री है, एक कंट्री डेवलप्ड कंट्री है, जबकि उस कंट्री के सभी बच्चे जो है प्रॉपर हेल्दी एनवायरनमेंट में बड़े होते हैं. और हमारी कंट्री के अंदर एज वी नो दैट इज दोज किड्स दोज हु आर लिविंग इन स्लम एरियाज, दोज हु आर स्लम dwellers, their condition is pitiable. So poet is deeply pained to see the condition of these slum dweller children. So he presents the picture of classroom where these slum dweller kids live, come to get education. So he describes about the classroom, how it is, and how children when they come and sit in that classroom, how they look, what they feel, और किस तरह की कंडीशन जो है इन बच्चों की है. इस क्लासरूम में बैठे हैं बट देयर कंडीशन इज वर्स्ट. Instead of that, they should be given proper basic necessities of life. They should be given luxuries. They should be given proper environment to study properly. So let me read this poem stanza wise from text. Far, far from gusty waves, these children faces like rootless weeds, the hair torn around their palate, around their pallor. The tall girl with her weight down head, the paper seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted unlucky here of twisted bones, reciting a father gnarled disease, his lesson from his desk at back of the dim class, one unknotted, sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream or squirrel game in tree room other than this. So as I already discussed that in the first stanza of the poem, the poet has described about different children, about their faces, how they look. Their faces are pale, they look lifeless, and the untidy hairs of a boy, they are compared with rootless weeds. And about the condition of a boy whose bones are twisted and he's studying on his desk, and he's compared with his father's swollen joints. His twisted bones are compared with his father swollen joints. So here the poet describes about a very sweet child who is remaining in his dream. He's dreaming about squirrel's game. And overall in this passage the poet has described about different children, those who were sitting in that classroom. So next is, on sour cream walls, donation, Shakespeare heat, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome, riding all sides, ballet, flory, Tyrolese valley, open-handed map, awarding the world is world, and yet for these children, these windows, not this map, the world, where all their future painted with a fog, a narrow street sealed in with a lit sky, far, far from rivers, capes and stars of words. So as in next I told you about, the poet has described about the condition of classroom, different types of pictures hanged on the wall, different types of pictures, as I have already described those types of pictures. And these pictures, these are meaningless for those kids, as just these pictures only tempt them to steal. These pictures are meaningless for these kids. So in the next stanza number 3, surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal, for lives that shyly turn in their cramped holes, from fog to endless night, on their slag heap, these children wear skins peep through by bones and spectacles of steel, with mended glass, little bottle bits on stone, all of their time, and spare our foggy slum, so blot their maps with slums as big as doom. So here again, as I have already told you, that the condition of these slum dwellers children, those who are living in slum areas, condition of these children is described, how they look, how they are not given basic necessities of life, how they are looking as thin, they are so thin, and the classroom environment in which they are given studies is also unhealthy. Means if the pictures, those who are hanged on the wall, different types of pictures, they are just meaningless for them. Just these pictures are tempting them that they should steal these pictures, and the poet describes about their physical structure, that about their body, that it is so thin, their faces are pale, and so they should be taken out from this they should be taken out from this pitiable condition. Something should be done for these slum dweller children. So in the last passage, unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut up their lives like catacombs, break, oh break, open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields, and make their world run as your on gold sand. Let their tongues run naked into books, at the white and green leaves open, history there whose language is the sun. So here in the end of the poem, the poet appeals governor, inspector, and visitors, those who come to visit these classrooms, that the condition of these children is very bad. He appeals that they should be given proper healthy environment, proper facilities, so that they can also enjoy open green fields, so that they can study properly. They can also enjoy golden sand. They should freely dwell, and they should study. They should read read their books in healthy and hygienic environment, and so that they can make their future. So here the poet in the end concludes that something should be done for these slum dweller children. They should be given proper facilities. They should be brought up in healthy and hygienic environment. So something should be done. So poet feels sympathy for these children, and describes about their condition, about their pitiable condition, in a very good way. So here I hope students you understood this poem. Thanks. Have a nice day.